Welcome all of you to the second lecture of graph theory and discrete mathematics. Today we are going to do the very important theorems in graph theory. The first theorem says that the sum of degree of all the vertices in a graph is twice the number of edges. So it says that in a graph, when we calculate the degrees of all the vertices and we'll sum the degree of all the vertices, and it will always be equal to the twice the number of edges. So let's see, and is also always even. So let's take an example. Suppose we have a graph. Say this is our graph. Any graph you can make and test this theorem, and this theorem will always be right. Suppose I have this graph. So let's first of all find the degree of all the vertices. In the previous video we have seen that how we can find the degree of all the vertices. So let us first find the degree of all the vertices. Degree of A will be equal to 1 and 2. How much edges incident on the vertex A? So 2. So degree of vertices is equals to 2. So we'll write 2. Degree of B will be equal to 1 and 2. Degree of degree of third vertex C will be equal to 2. And degree of D equals to 2. So let's sum these degrees. We will get 2, 4, 6 and 8. So if we count the number of vertices, so if we count the number of edges, how many edges we have in this graph? 1, 2, 3 and 4. So number of edges will be equal to 4. So if we'll break this into 2 multiple of 2, so it will get 2 into 4, and this will be equal to the number of edges. So the theorem is proved that the sum of degree of all the vertices will always be equal to the twice the number of edges in a graph. So you can take any graph by your imagination and you can verify this theorem. So let's move on to the second theorem. Second theorem says that in a finite graph means where we have the countable number of edges and vertices. So in this graph, finite graph, the number of vertices of odd degree is always even. The number of vertices with odd degree. Here we have taken a graph in which all the vertices has the even degree. But what if we take a graph in which we have odd degree vertex? So in this case, when we count the number of vertices with odd degree, it will always be even. So let's take another graph, another example, and we'll verify both these theorems in this graph. So let's take any graph by our imagination, say this is our graph. This is the graph we have taken. Let's label the vertices A, B, C, D, E, F and G. So let's first of all find the degree of all the vertices. Degree of A will be 1 and 2. Degree of B will be equal to 1, 2 and 3. Degree of C will be equal to 1, 2, 3, 4. Degree of D will be equal to 1, 2, 3, 4. Degree of E is 1, 2, 3. Degree of F is 1 and degree of G is 1. So let's first of all write the degrees of all the vertices in a clear manner. Degree of A is 2, degree of B is 3, degree of C is 4, degree of D is 4, degree of E is 3, degree of F is 1 and degree of G is 1. So you can see that the number of vertices with odd degree. B has odd degree. What do you mean by odd degree? Odd degree means, odd degree vertex means the vertex which has odd number of degree, odd number in the degree. Okay. So B has odd degree 3, C has even 4, D has 4, even E, F, G both. E, F both have 1 degree odd and E also has 3 degree odd. So we can count the number of vertices with odd degree. The number of vertices with the odd degree we can count 1, 2, 1, 2, 3 and 4. Means number of vertices of odd degree will be equal to 4. So 4 is even. So you can verify on any graph and you will always count the number of vertices with odd degree will always be even. So let's verify. We have First theorem also, we have a graph, we have calculated the degree, so let's verify the first theorem also on this graph. Let's take the sum of graph. 2, 5, 9, 9 plus 4, 13, 13 plus 3, 16, 17 and 18. So 18 is the sum of degree of all the vertices. And number of edges we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and 9. Number of vertices 9. So we can break down 18 will be equal to 2 into 9. So 9 will be equal to the number of edges in this graph. So you will always found the sum of degrees will be equal to twice the number of edges, and the number of vertices of odd degree is always equal. We have one more, another term, subgraph. As I have written that subgraph is a smaller graph formed by selecting a subset of vertices and edges from a larger graph, meaning it uses a subset of original graph's vertices, nodes and a subset of its edges where all those vertices and edges also exist in the original graph. So let me make you understand this term. So we have a graph. When we'll make a smaller graph from this original graph by removing the edges or vertices, it will be called as a subgraph, and this graph always uses the set of edges and set of vertices of the subgraph is always belongs to the original graph's edge set and vertex. So let's take a graph. Suppose this is a graph we have. Suppose this is a simple graph we have. So let's label A, B, C, D, E and F. So if we remove any edge or any vertex from the graph, we will get a subgraph. And we can remove as many number of edges and vertices to make a subgraph of the original graph. Suppose we remove this vertex and this will become the graph. So this is a subgraph of the original graph. So let's make it again. So this will become the subset of this graph. If we remove the vertex, say this, I remove the vertex D here from here. So I'll get the graph. So D will be removed. All the edges connecting to the D will also get removed. So these both are the subsets of the graph. So we can remove as many number of edges from the graph. Suppose I also remove the CF edge. So this also becomes the subgraph. If I remove CB also, then this also becomes the subgraph. So in this case, in this way, we can make as many number of subgraphs we want by removing as many number of edges and vertices from the graph. And note which we are left in the previous video was every trivial graph is a multi-graph. So in the previous video we have done what is a trivial graph. Trivial graph is the simplest, smallest possible graph. So if we make one vertex this, then this is called as the trivial graph. So this is always a multi-graph. Multi-graph means the graph which consists of self loops and edges, parallel edges. So this trivial graph is always a multi-graph, but every multi-graph is not a trivial graph. Vice versa is not true. I have written. Now we are done with the theorems. So let's continue with another important terms. Now we are done with the theorems. Further we are going to do isomorphic graphs. So let me first erase all of this. What now we are going to do. And in exams you get the questions from these topics. I will explain you that how the question is. First of all, let's understand what you mean by isomorphic graphs. So if we have two graphs G, B, E and G, B star, E star. Star is just for distinguishes that we have two separate graphs. These two graphs are said to be isomorphic if there exists one-to-one correspondence. One-to-one correspondence between the two graphs. The correspondence is denoted by F such that V to V star. Such that the correspondence between two vertices. This is a vertex in graph G and this is a vertex in graph G star. So this is exists if there in graph G there an U, VH which corresponds to the G dash graph where you have f of u and f of v edges. So when we understand this with the help of an example, then you will get the clear concept. So first of all, in questions, you will given certain diagrams, such as this is the given as, this is the question given to you. These are some of the alphabets, and in this case, these are not alphabets. These are given in the form of graphs. So these dots denoting that here and we have vertex, and this line denotes that this is an edge. In exams, questions will be like this, that you have given number of graphs and you have to check that which of the following pairs in this graphs are isomorphic. So I have written some rules which are important to check that the two graphs are said to be isomorphic or not. First of all is that the number of vertices must be equal, and second, the number of edges must be equal. Third, the degree sequence must be similar, and core rule I have written 1-to-1 correspondence. That if there, as I have explained you previous, that if we have a graph G and here a unique vertex U will point to the unique vertex in graph G star if there exists in U, B edge in E G, which corresponds to the U f of U and f of B edge in G star. So let's solve this question. In the rules, first I have written that number of edges must be equal. So let's first label all these graphs, and if you will not label, you will get confused. So first of all, whenever you are given any number of graphs, first label all of these with the unique labels, and also label the vertices and edges both. So let's first of all we label all this. I have labeled all the graphs. So let's first of all find the number of vertices. Number of vertices, here we have 1, 2, 3 and 4, 5. Here number of vertices 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Number of vertices in this graph 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Number of vertices in this graph 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now we will find the number of edges in this graphs. Number of edges here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Number of edges here 1, 2, 3, 4. So in this case, first of all we find the number of edges and number of vertices. So for two graphs to be isomorphic, if I consider these two graphs, we have to check for all the possible pairs in this graph. So if I consider AF, two possible graphs, then these isomorphic I can say by saying it. I can say that these are not isomorphic. How? Because vertices are equal but edges are not equal. So I can directly say that these are not isolated lenses. Other steps I do not have to do if I detect by finding the number of vertices and number of edges in a graph. So if I have to look for the isomorphic graph, these in this pair of edges there will be an isomorphic pair I'll get, and this for this, because these have the number of vertices and number of edges equal, and these two has the number of edges and number of vertices equal. So let's first of all check for AR pair. Let's first of all let's remove the pair. First of all we find the degree of all the vertices. Let's find degree. Degree of 1 here, 2. Degree of 2 here, 3. So in this way I have found the degree of all the vertices also. So number of edges and number of vertices are equal of the pair A and B. So second we'll go to the third rule. Degree sequence must be same. 2, 3, 3, 1, 1 and 2, 3, 3, 1, 1. So they both have degree sequence equal. Now we'll go to the core rule because all of the first three rules are satisfied for this pair. So we'll check the core rule, 1-to-1 correspondence. So how we'll check this, I'll show you. So first of all, let's make a correspondence between the vertices. Then from these vertices we'll make the correspondence between the edges. So 1 will be corresponding to the degree of vertex with 1 in the second graph. So let's correspond between the vertices. Let's start. 1 will corresponding to 26. 2 will correspond to 27. 3 will correspond to 29. 4 will correspond to 27. And 5 will correspond to 30. So how I have written this? Because we are going to check between the pair A and R. So 1 has the degree 2 and here 26 has the degree 2. So will correspond between these two vertices. 2 has degree 2 and 2 has degree 3 and 27 has degree 3. 3 has degree 3, 29 has degree 3. 4 1, 28 has degree 1. 5 1 and 31. So in this way we will correspond between the vertices. So now we'll make correspond between from this vertices between the edges. So 1 to 2. So we'll start from the one graph and find the corresponding vertex between the other graph. So for 1 to 2 edge, how we'll find the corresponding vertex between the R? 1 to 2. 1 to 2 means 26 to 27. 26 to 27 we have F1 edge. 1 to 2 we have A1 edge. And from 1 to 2 here I have written that corresponding vertex of 1 to 2, 26 to 27. And here I have F1. So in this case I have made the correspond between the edges. A1 will be correspond to F1 in the graph R. Let's move on to next. 2 to 4. 2 to 4 means 27 to, here we will have 28. 2 to 4, 27 to 28. 27 to 28 we have A2 will correspond to F2. 1 to 3, 1 to 3, 26 to 29. F3. So A4 will correspond to F3. Now 2 to 3, 27 to 29 will correspond to F4. A3 will correspond to F4. 3 to 5 I have A5 and 3 to 5, 29 to 30 will here correspond to F5. So in this case I have found the correspondence between the vertices. So I can say that the pair A and R graphs are isomorphic. So in this way we can check for other pairs. How many pairs we are left with? A and R we have checked also, and for these 4 vertices we'll first find the degree of vertex should be same. So in this case the degree of vertex is not same. So this F graph and T graph has the degree sequence same. So F and T has a degree same. So F and T can be isomorphic. I'm just seeing the possible pairs which can be isomorphic. First we'll find this. So why I have not written the K pair with any of these F, T and R? Because they do not have the degree sequencing. I'll only have to check the one-to-one correspondence between those graphs which have the same degree sequence. 6 will correspond to 90. 7 will correspond to 70. 8 will correspond to 16. 9 will correspond to, B1 is from 6 to 7. 6 to 7 means 17 to 19. Means it will correspond to D3. B2 means 7 to 8. 7 to 8 means 16 to 17 in graph T. So it will correspond to D1. D3 means 6 to 9. 6 to 9 will correspond to 19 to 20. Means it will correspond to D4. And B4, 7 to 9, 17 to 18 means D3. this is also D3, this is also D6. So this will become D3 and B4 is 7 to 10. 7 to 10 means 17 to 18. So here we have D. So it will correspond to D. So we'll find that F and T pair are isomorphic. This is also isomorphic. AR pair is also isomorphic. So let's check for the rest of. In this pair, I have found AR is isomorphic, FT is isomorphic. So these are the mistakes which the most of the students do in the exams. They'll check for the pairs which do not have the degree sequence same. So F and R, if we'll do for F and R, they do not have the edge set same. So this is not isomorphic. We'll do not check these one. And T and R also do not have the edge set same. So these are also rejected. We'll reject the pairs which do not have edges or vertices equal. So these are pair cancelled. So we'll only left with the KX pair. So let's check for K and X graph. So here 11 will correspond to 21. 12 will correspond, these and these I have written. 13 will correspond to 23. 14 will correspond to 24 and 15 will correspond to 25. So now let's first label the vertices, all the vertices of K, C1, C2, C3, C4. We'll find the corresponding with the vertices of X. So 11 to 21, C1 means 11 to 13, 11 to 13 means 21 to 23, 21 to 23 in the graph means E1. So C1 will correspond to E1. Next C2 is from 13 to 12 or 12 to 13, 22 to 23, so it will become E4. Next C3 is from 13 to 14 means 22 to 24, 23 to 24, so it will correspond to E2. And next we are left with C4, 13 to 15, 13 to 15 means 23 to 25. In the graph X we have E3. So this AR, FT and KX pair as the isomorphic from these 6 graphs. So in this case, in this way you have to attempt the question in the exam. First of all, find all the number of vertices, then edges, then degree sequence, then find the possible pairs which can be isomorphic and which are possible, check the isomorphic for those. And if the question is high weightage, you can check for all the possible pairs. So most of the students do not write by this method and they do not get full marks in the exams. So to get the full marks, you have to attempt like this manner. So these are the questions which are obtained from the isomorphic graph topic. So we are done with the isomorphic. Now let's move on to the homomorphic graphs. So I have written 2 graphs are said to be G and G star are said to be homomorphic if they can be obtained from the same graph. We can obtain a new graph by dividing an edge of the graph, means we can introduce a new vertex between the graph, keeping the structure same. Let's understand homomorphic graph with the help of an example. Suppose we have this graph. Suppose I have this graph. So this is the graph. I can make the isomorphic graph by this graph. How? If I introduce here a vertex, so this will become this. This is the isomorphic graph. We do not have to change the original structure of the graph, but we can introduce a new vertex. We can divide the edge by introducing a new vertex. So then this will become the homomorphic graphs. So in this way we can find the homomorphic graph. So we can introduce as many number of vertices. Suppose I can make this as a homomorphic graph. I can make this as a homomorphic graph. So I can introduce as many number of vertices as we want. Therefore, we have done a very important topic, isomorphic and homomorphic. You have to practice the questions on the isomorphic graphs, because in exams the questions are based on the isomorphic graphs which we have practiced previously. So you can practice more questions for getting this topic into your tips. So thank you for watching this video, and if you understand the concept from my video, you can like, subscribe and share my channel. And if you have any doubt, you can comment in the comment section. Thank you all of you.